Hi, it's Candy of Affordable Bookkeeping and Payroll Services, and I am creating a new video today because I had a comment on one of the employer retention tax credit videos that I've posted on YouTube in the past, asking how to amend a 941X that has already been submitted. In this case, they realized that they didn't include tips and they have an additional amount of credit that's due to them. So they weren't sure how to file. So Boris, thank you so much for your question. This video is because you commented. So I'm going to show you an example, again, using the tips difference for this particular example. But I do want to make sure that you're aware when filling out the 941X that you only fill in the lines that have changes. So you don't fill in like all the wages, all the taxes, everything if those numbers haven't changed. So in this case, we won't have information at the top of the page because we'll only be dealing with changes affecting the employee retention tax credit, the refundable portion of the credit, etc. One other thing to keep in mind in this example that I will be showing you is that we are making an assumption that the employees did not reach the maximum $10,000 in wages, and so that they have an additional credit they can claim for these wages. So let me share my screen. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is show an example of what the original 941 had. So I'm using a real example from somebody that we helped. Now, we did claim the tips along with the regular wages based on the amount that they could claim in the quarter. I believe in this case, they also had a PPP loan, so they couldn't claim all the wages. But I'm going to use a real example, but to protect the privacy, of course, I'm not going to show their information. But you can see from here, and let me actually move my photo out of the way so you can see everything, that they originally had $112,121.36 in taxable Social Security wages, and then they had taxable tips of $2,184. So we're going to assume for today's video that they did not include the original $2,184 in tips. They will be able to claim the full amount because, once again, the employees did not reach the maximum and that this amount is due. So the next thing I want to show you is the worksheet that had originally been done. So on the worksheet, this was originally calculated correctly at the top. We put the Social Security wages and the tips to get the total amount that was taxable, and we figured out the employer portion of the tax. So since this was calculated correctly originally, we will not have to change the non-refundable portion of the sick pay. So you can see this number carries through all the way down, and I'm using the original worksheet for 2020. In this case, they originally claimed $50,180.04. Again, they had a PPP loan. If anyone else had wages that didn't count, I don't remember in this case if there was like an owner that had wages that was like an S corporation with the officer, that was on there, or any family. I just wanted to pull an example that had tips. Okay, so what we're going to do is say here was the original amount that they were saying they were going to claim. We are going to add $2,184 for tips, which gives us a new total for the qualified wages of $52,364.04. Based on a 50% credit, they now have $26,182.02. Again, the non-refundable portion stays the same. So the refundable portion increases here to $19,095.09. So now we're going to go to the 941X form, again, filling in only what would be changing. So again, to protect the identity of this particular customer, I removed all the information from the top. But in this case, we had a 941X that is for, of course, Form 941. We're saying that it's for the second quarter for 2020. Again, you will fill in all your information here at the top that's applicable, your tax identification number, name, address. In this case, we are saying that we are doing a claim You do want to check box 3 that says you have filed or will file W-2. Now, of course, there are no changes that are required for the W-2s, but it's just a statement that you did file those for 2020 or whatever period that you have to correct. And then again, for us, we usually do 5D, that the claim is for federal income tax, Medicare tax, et cetera, that you didn't withhold from the employees. Again, once again, you're just making corrections for the employee retention tax credit. You're not having to change anything for the employee's actual wages that were paid or taxes. Again, on each page, make sure you put your name, your tax ID number here, and the period that you are correcting, so the quarter and the year. And then again, you only fill in boxes that have changes. So we're going to skip all of this at the top. Normally, when you're filing your 941X to claim the employee retention tax credit, you do put an amount on line 18. But again, since the amount was originally correct, we don't have to change that one. So the only amounts that we will be changing are going to be the refundable portion, line 26. So here you can see we're saying the new amount is $19,095.09. The original amount claimed was $18,030.09, and the difference is $1,092 for the employee retention tax credit. When you have a positive number in column 3, you make a negative number in column 4 and on line 27. So this is the additional amount of the employee retention tax credit that is due to the business for the amount of tips that they did not claim. You also must put the qualified wages and the difference. So here again, the new amount is $52,364.04. The original amount filed was $50,180.04 for the difference of $21.84. You then also have to make sure that you put a description of why you're amending the original 941X that you filed. So in this case, I basically said that when they were filing the original 941X, tips were not included in the qualified wages. And so this form is being filed to be able to collect that additional employee retention tax credit that is due. Now, again, when you are filing these forms, you must sign in Part 5. This is a legal document and they will not process it if you do not complete the Section 5. So sign your name, put the date, print your name, title, and phone number. Now, again, this was an assumption based on only correcting the employee retention tax credit. Again, if you need to make a correction for something other than claiming the employee retention tax credit and you have some changes, then you would just look at all of the boxes, figure out what is applicable for your situation, and then select the box here and put in, again, the corrected amount in column 1, the original amount that you reported in column 2, the difference in column 3. All right, I hope this has been helpful for you. Again, if you have any needs regarding the employee retention tax credit, you need help filing, you decide you don't want to do them on your own, my staff and I are here to help you. So you can reach us at 310-534-5577 or contact@abandp.com, and we'll be happy to help you. Again, if you have other questions, feel free to post comments on my YouTube channel on the particular videos. I do read those personally and respond. And as you can see from this video, if there's another video I need to create because of the comments, then I will go ahead and do that as well. Also find my podcast, which I also answer some of these questions on the podcast periodically, as well as my video blogs. And you can search Biz Help for You or my name, Candy Messer, on the YouTube channel and find all of the resources that I have for you. All right, hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.